Well, life changed completely for Bryan Stow the day of the attack and for the people who love him and take care of him. It's been nearly 3 years, and the progress he is making is still being measured in inches.
1, 2, 3.
There is no hiding the strain, the struggle it is for Bryan Stow to take even a few steps. The 45-year-old paramedic from Santa Cruz was beaten and kicked into a coma March 31st, 2011, in the parking lot of Dodger Stadium on opening day. Why? He was wearing a San Francisco Giants shirt. Friends who were with him, fellow paramedics, say Bryan was surprised with a sucker punch, which caused him to fall back, slamming his head hard on the concrete. He was also kicked in the head and torso. Suffering massive brain trauma, he's had to relearn how to breathe, eat, and speak, and there is so much he can't remember.
This I got from some kid. It says, "I love you."
You know who that's from? That was from Tabby, his daughter Tabby.
Nearly 3 years after the attack, his elderly parents are now his primary caretakers, since his insurance company will no longer pay for full-time care in a rehab center. Bryan needs constant care, and his parents know they won't be able to do this forever.
I try not to think about that too much, but it would be nice if they stepped up and did what was right.
They are the Los Angeles Dodgers. The family has filed a civil lawsuit against the team and former owner Frank McCourt. The Stow family continues to fight to be Bryan's voice and keep his story alive. In 2012, he symbolically handed the ball to his son Tyler so he could make the first pitch in the Giants' home opener against the Pirates. The kind of public attention that still leads to fundraisers, which are desperately needed, with estimates that Bryan's staggering medical bills could top $50 million. And Bryan Stow was at home today during the court hearing with his parents in Capitola. In a recent update, his parents said they recently shaved his head, and it was shocking to see the damage to his skull. Pam?
Ultimately, Bryan Stow's assailants will answer to a higher authority. That is the assessment which comes from a man who has known Bryan Stow since he was a kid, Father Michael Cross of St. John's Catholic Church in Felton. That's where Bryan Stow served as an altar boy. He has been in contact with the Stow family ever since Bryan was attacked on that fateful day at Dodger Stadium almost 3 years ago. Father Mike, as he's known, has helped to organize fundraisers for Bryan and saw him a couple of days ago. He says Bryan is getting better all the time, but he is disappointed with the sentence handed down today.
I just, myself, I'm not trying to be vindictive, but I just think 6 years in prison is an awfully small price for ruining a man's life. He'll never be able to do much more than stay in a wheelchair. You know, it's a big price to pay. And but the parents are not vindictive about this. I think they really feel that, well, justice is served. That's the way things go. And they're kind of resigned to God's will.
Father Cross says that the congregation at St. John's has been praying for Bryan all along and that they will live with the sentence handed down today. He is hoping that Bryan's family will find more satisfaction in a pending civil suit and possible federal charges down the line. We continue our team coverage tonight from Arizona now, where the San Francisco Giants are responding to news of the verdict. Crown Force J.R. Stone joins us live from Scottsdale with more on that part of the story. J.R.
Well, Pam, so many of the San Francisco Giants players and coaches have been involved in this case, in this story, specifically the fundraising part of this story. Now, when the news broke this morning, they had plenty to say about their feelings in this case. Now, as I start, I want to go to some of the video. You can see Jeremy Affeldt here with Bryan Stow. That is who I spoke with earlier in the daytime. Jeremy Affeldt being a pitcher on the San Francisco Giants. He has visited Bryan and Stow not only in the hospital, but also at home at least half a dozen times. He spoke and heard the news earlier this morning, basically said, you know, he's hopeful that there is some sort of closure for the family here. Take a listen to what he said.
To sit in a cell for 4 and 8 years over a win-loss, guy wearing the opposite uniform is your favorite team, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. And I hope that that's what people start to see. Does it really make that much sense to cause that much pain to a family and to cost yourself 4 to 8 years of your life or more? There might be, maybe they'll have stricter penalties down the road if it happens again. I don't know, but hopefully, you know, these two guys learn from the situation. But again, I don't know the mentality of these guys. I don't know what these guys are or aren't. I don't know if they care or don't care.
Now, earlier this afternoon, I also spoke with third base coach for the San Francisco Giants, Tim Flannery. He has held a number of fundraisers in this case, couple of dozen fundraisers for the family members. He heard the news through family members of the Stow family who actually text messaged him early this morning. He had some very strong words calling these guys thugs. You're going to hear from him tonight at 8 o'clock. Reporting live in Scottsdale, J.R. Stone, KRON 4 News.
Stay with KRON 4 for the latest on the sentencing of Bryan Stow's beating assailants. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we will tell you what the Dodgers are saying. And on our website, KRON4.com, we have posted the raw video from inside the courtroom with all that the family members and the judge had to say today.